Worship. Temple. These pictures? For what purpose? How about this? Let's familiarize ourselves with these words and phrases. Here is the drill. You are to arrange the jumbled letters flashing on screen to form a word. You will be given 5 seconds to think and answer. No further clues, just related with our topic for today, Judaism. Okay, let's go! If your answer is Abraham, you are correct. Great! If your answer is Pentateuch, you are correct. Good job! If your answer is Judaism, you are correct. Great! Alright, you did great, learners. I am sure that you are all excited for our topic for today, and that is, indeed, Judaism. Hello there, senior high learners. My name is Sir Jester, your religion buddy. This subject explores the beliefs and practices of major world religions. It also promotes mutual understanding among different faiths and beliefs. More of these discoveries only here on DepEd TV. Before we go on with our topic for today, let us first have a review of what we had last time. We discussed the positive and negative effects of religion. The positive effects. Number 1, religion promotes social harmony. Number 2, religion provides moral values. Number 3, religion provides a social change. Number 4, religion reduces fear of the unknown. Number 5, religion gives positive goals in life. Number 6, religion gives people a sense of belonging. The negative effects. Number 1, religion affirms social hierarchy. Number 2, religion causes discrimination. Number 3, religion triggers conflicts and fights. Number 4, religion as an economic tool for exploiting the masses. Number 5, religion impedes scientific success and development. And number 6, religion obstructs the use of reason. From the frontiers of West Asia developed the Abrahamic religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, known as the monotheistic religions of the world. They are called Abrahamic religions because they all trace their origins to the great patriarch Abraham and his descendants. Followers of these religions, namely the Jews, Christians, and Muslims, all believe that Abraham and his family played a significant role in the beginnings of their respective faiths. Since these religions came from the same region, it is not surprising that they share common beliefs, foremost of which is the belief that they share common roots to the patriarch Abraham. Judaism is an ancient monotheistic religion that traces its origin as an organized belief system during the Bronze Age in West Asia. The religion of the Jewish people, Judaism, is one of the 3 Abrahamic religions that also include Christianity and Islam. It is the religion professed by the Jews known as the people of the book, in reference to their sacred text written covering nearly 1,000 years and formalized as a canon of teaching by the end of the 1st century CE. Here is the concept map. Sacred scriptures, worships and observances, beliefs and doctrines, and subdivisions. It is quite difficult to separate the history of Judaism from the history of the Jews themselves. The ancestors of the Jews were groups of Semites called Hebrews, whose origin can be traced in the desert lands of Arabia. The origin of the Jewish people and the beginning of Judaism are recorded in the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, the Pentateuch. As a religion and culture, Judaism has 3 notable founding figures or patriarchs, namely Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Old Testament gives us ideas on socio-political dynamics of Judaism. Understanding the Jewish concepts on politics and society would help us understand the historical development of Judaism as one of the world's religions and see its relevance in contemporary times. The Jewish concept of leadership based on the Old Testament directs us to certain types of leadership, one of which is kingship as the ideal form of government. This can be deduced from the chronicles of the kings of Israel and Judah, as well as in the book of Deuteronomy, which stated, "Let me put a king over me like all the nations that are around me." From Deuteronomy chapter 17, verses 14 to 15. The Jewish people have been called the people of the book in reference to the Hebrew Bible that has been the authority and guide and inspiration of the many forms of Judaism that have evolved throughout the different periods of time and in various places. Composed over a period of almost 1,000 years, collections within the Bible became established in its full canonical form by the end of the 1st century CE. According to the Jewish tradition, the Hebrew Bible is divided into 3 principal sections, namely the Torah, Nevi'im, and Ketuvim. The foundational text, Torah or teaching, is composed of the first 5 books, or the Pentateuch, traditionally believed to have been authored by Moses through divine instruction in Sinai. This includes Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Apart from containing basic laws for Jewish self-understanding, the Pentateuch also narrates the history, religious statutes, and moral regulations for individuals and society, ceremonial rites and creation stories by Yahweh, and the origin and growth of mankind. Meanwhile, the Nevi'im, or the prophets, is divided into earlier prophets, later prophets, and 12 minor prophets. Prophets serves as spokespersons who criticize the hypocritical practices of Jewish rituals. They were specifically chosen by God to preach His message to the people. Lastly, the Ketuvim, or the writings, form the 3rd section of the Tanakh that contains works on poetry, temple ritual, private prayer, philosophical explorations, and other canonical works in the strictest sense. Torah refers to the 5 books of the Moses. However, it can also pertain to the entire Hebrew Bible, known as the Old Testament to non-Jews, but Tanakh, or the written Torah, to the Jews. Broadly speaking, Torah could mean the whole body of Jewish laws and teachings. Another sacred writing of Judaism is the Talmud, or the oral Torah, which means study. All studies and interpretations done by the Jewish rabbi or teachers of the Torah are contained in the Talmud. In short, the Talmud is an authoritative collection of rabbinic interpretations of the sacred scriptures. It contains materials of law and moral codes. The Pentateuch is the single most important scripture for the Jewish people that became the source of their inspiration and direction for centuries. It became the foundation of other essential Jewish writings such as the Talmud and the Mishnah. With all these codified laws and legal materials, Judaism has become a religion of the law, and the Jews, as the chosen people, have shown obedience to God's covenant throughout their long and tumultuous history. In Judaism, actions are more significant than beliefs. However, while Judaism has no dogma, There is definitely a place for belief within the religion since it focuses on the worship of one God, the practice of good deeds, and the love of learning. For the Jews, there is one everlasting God who created the universe in its entirety and remains the master of it. Human beings were created by God, who provided them the capacity to decide what is right and wrong, and gave them the freedom and responsibility for their own actions. Humans have the ability to restrain their evil intentions because of their propensities for both good and evil. For Jews, all humans are created equal, while God can communicate with humans through revelations. Humans can also commune to Him by means of prayers and meditations. With regard one's Jewishness, a Jew is someone whose mother is a Jew, although some sectors recognize the children of Jewish fathers as Jews too. While a Jew may not lose one's technical status as a Jew by converting to another religion, he or she loses the religiosity emanating from his or her Jewish identity. A person may also convert to Judaism, but he or she has to undergo numerous rituals. Alright, I guess you have already gained so much information. That is why, this time, let's have a simple game. Are you ready? Great! Let's go! Here is the drill. True or false. Tell whether if the statement is true, you will write it true, and false, write on your paper false. Make sure that your learning materials are with you at this moment. Okay? Let's do this! Number 1. True or false, a person may be converted to Judaism, but he or she has to undergo numerous rituals. If your answer is true, you are correct. Great! Number 2. True or false, for Jews, human beings were created by God, who provided them the capacity to decide what is right and wrong. If your answer is true, you are correct. Number 3. True or false, all human beings are not created equal. If your answer is false, you are correct. Good job! Number 4. True or false, in Judaism, beliefs are more significant than actions. If your answer is false, you are correct. Great! Number 5. True or false, for the Jews, there is one everlasting God. If your answer is true, you are correct. Good job, learners! So, how's your score? If you got perfect, it only shows that you are doing a great job. Now, let's continue our lesson. Perhaps the closest approach in having an acceptable creed in Judaism was proposed by the eminent medieval Jewish philosopher Moshe ben Maimon, also known as Rambam or Moses Maimonides, during the latter part of the 12th century CE, as an appendix to his commentary on the Mishnah. According to Moshe ben Maimon, the minimum requirements of Jewish belief are listed in his 13 principles of faith, and these are as follows. Jewish principles of faith. God exists. God is one and unique. God is incorporeal. God is eternal. Prayer is to be directed to God alone and to no other. The words of the prophets are true. Moses' prophecies are true, and Moses was the greatest of the prophets. The written Torah and the oral Torah were given to Moses. There will be no other Torah. God knows the thoughts and deeds of the men. God will reward the good and punish the wicked. The Messiah will come. The dead will be resurrected. Sabbath. The most important date in the Jewish calendar is the Sabbath or Shabbat, which commemorates God's completion of the creation of the universe and his rest after the sixth-day toil. The days of awe. Tishri is the seventh month in the ecclesiastical year of the Jewish calendar. The first 10 days of the Tishri are called the days of awe, wherein the first 2 days comprise the new year, and the 10th day as the Day of Atonement. All Jews must undergo self-reflection and make amends for all the sins they have committed. Pilgrimage festivals. Festivals spiritualize human life and merge nature and history in a divine pattern. Pesach is an 8th day of festival that originally marked the beginning of the barley harvest. Other important days. There are many feasts and festivals celebrated by the Jewish people. Nisan or March or April. 14, Passover Eve. 15 to 21, Passover. Iyar or April or May. 5, Israel's Independence Day. Sivan or May or June. 6, 7, Shavuot. Tishri or September or October. 1, Rosh Hashanah. 10, Yom Kippur. 15, Sukkot. 21, Hashanah Rabbah. 22, Shemini Atzeret. 23, Simchat Torah. Kislev or November or December. 25, Hanukkah begins up to the 2nd of Tevet or December or January. Adar or February or March. 14, Purim. Halakha. Because Judaism is also a comprehensive way of life, Jewish people follow a set of rules and practices that govern their everyday living. Synagogues. Synagogues are Jewish temples of worship, instruction, and community fellowship that contain separate rooms designed for specific activities, such as praying and studying. In Orthodox Judaism, men and women sit separately at the synagogues. In Reformed Judaism, they sit all together in temples. The Temple. Around 1003 BCE, David conquered Jerusalem and made it his capital, bringing with him the Ark of the Covenant. David intended to build a temple to become the first and fixed place of worship for the Jews. However, God told David that it would be one of his sons who will have the privilege of accomplishing this task. Being one of the oldest religions in the world, Judaism has undergone various changes in response to changing times and cultures brought about by key historical events or philosophical upheavals. While there are certain beliefs shared by most adherents, differences and diversity in faith also abound among Jewish denominations and sects. Within Judaism are three present-day movements that emerge in response to the modern and secular culture of Europe and America. These are Reform, Orthodox, and Conservative Judaism. Two other smaller sects, namely Hasidism and Kabbalah, are mystical approaches to the Jewish religion that emphasize spiritual experiences over rational knowledge. Women in Judaism. Women's role in the Jewish religion is determined by the Tanakh, the Oral Torah, and Jewish customs. Holocaust. The term Holocaust is of Greek origin that means sacrifice by fire. In history, Holocaust pertains to the methodical, bureaucratic, and state-sponsored persecution and execution of around 6 million Jews undertaken by the Nazi regime and its collaborators from 1933 to 1945. Anti-Semitism. The term anti-Semitism pertains to hostility towards and discrimination against the Jewish people that was strongly felt in France, Germany, Poland, and Russia in the late 19th and 20th centuries. Alright, now that you're loaded with so much information again, let's have a random Topic recap. How many Jewish principles of faith do we have? If your answer is 13, you got it right. It is called as Jewish temples of worship, instruction, and community fellowship that contain separate rooms designed for specific activities. How do we call it? If your answer is synagogues, you are right. Great job. It means sacrifice by fire. If your answer is Holocaust, you are correct. Good job. All right, dear learners, we have reached the end of our episode. I hope by next meeting, you will have the same energy as of today. Learners, I hope this lesson made you understand one of the religions of the world, Judaism. In the next lesson, we will discuss Christianity and how it became one of the most popular religions in the world. Always remember this: you cannot believe in a God until you believe in yourself. My name is Sir Jester. See you next time. This is World Religions and Belief Systems here on DepEd TV. Goodbye.